Hello, you guys. I'm not sure if it's been too long since I've filmed, but it's been a while. And I have been busy. I started a new job. I just came back from work, not your typical 9 to 5, so that's really good. I come home a little earlier than that, and I don't work Fridays. So I just figured I need a real balance in my life. And I think I've said this before that, I'm in the position of some some level of privilege where I can, not work the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And plus, I need time to focus on my writing. So, this is kind of a good place, good balance for me. I don't work Fridays, Saturday, Sunday I'm off, and then I come home at 3. So 3, 4, I come home at 4, but I think that's good. That's good for me. And my energy isn't that drained. I can, be nice when I come home. And this is a great segue into what I wanted to talk about, which is, wow, I don't think I've had a better segue. I am not as fun, as happy and giggly as I appear. Granted, I am generally, even my mom describes me this way, I am bubbly, come home, come home when it's, cool weather. I'm myself, I'm, all fun and whatever. Okay, one thing I've noticed, and my friend put this so beautifully, there's something about our Americanized culture, which I how do I even start this? Individuality is a construct that is meant to be exploited. And oftentimes it is viewed as hypocrisy when we are uh, two things at the same time, bitter and bubbly. Like I am both, undoubtedly, and sometimes I can't really decide. This could be also a really interesting I can't believe I changed subjects so fast, but this could be a really interesting conversation about astrology and esoteric subjects, because apparently Libras don't know who the fuck they are. And I have that issue from time to time with some of the more trite and trivial traits about myself. Triple T. But yeah, that being said, I wanted to kind of discuss like the dichotomy within me, and in a while I do present myself as someone who is happy and ambitious or whatever it may be, like I know what I present here. On the other hand, it's not easy, and I think it's not even that it's not easy. It's that I am much different. I'm different in traffic. I'm different when I'm dealing with conflict. I'm different when I'm fucking, I don't know, like there's shit, and I wanted to kind of discuss that. I did another video prior to this where it's like it's okay to be sad, but also I think I just wanted to continue introducing myself and really touch on the subject that like it's interesting that like identity and individuality is something that is really just profited off of, like you have to be one way and you have to consume things that fuel that trait, that characteristic of yourself. Maybe like it's not all clicking, but I did want to talk about that, and also how I'm trying to combat certain things about me that I don't really think I don't necessarily love. So in a lot of videos I've discussed that I lean more extroverted, which is true. I love pitching conversations with people. I love being goofy. I love being a little weird, or I don't know, something. Like I always, like whenever we're out to, like I'm out to dinner with friends or whatever, or I'm at the gas station or at the cashier's or at the cashier, whatever, I will talk about my script. I'll be like, yo, what do you think? Like, would you watch a movie about so-and-so, would you do it? And picture it this way or whatever. Or I love talking to people at my local 7-Eleven, so I'm cool with that. I'm cool with, not, I don't know, just being a little goofy with people. However, on the other hand, I do also have introverted tendencies where I have the fear of maintaining a normal conversation. I feel it's weird. I feel like they're gonna catch my eye twitching, or like, am I smiling for too long? Am I making too much eye contact? And it throws me off, and it prevents me from further pursuing a friendship with somebody, which I'm trying to break, and I have so far, because I've become far more social in the past few months. So by nature, I think it's not equal parts, but there's a substantial amount of bitterness guess. And let me tell you, this statement right here would be a testament as to this like portion of myself. I fuck with, now I don't know. I don't know everything about this lady, but I fuck with Fran Lebowitz. I fuck with her, you know? And let's be real, she's not really fond of people or things and stuff. I just spat, but like she's not very, yeah, she's not. But I like that about her. I like that she goes on and rambles, and you know, and we'll talk about the city she fucking roams around, you know, and she's cool like that. But I like her literature. I like her social commentary at times. You know, it's kind of cool. I don't know, and I say this with caution now because honestly, a lot of things are unraveling about celebrities and larger figures that we didn't know prior, you know, whether they were fucking affiliated with Epstein or they support Trump or I don't know, whatever the fuck, you know. So I say that with caution because I'm not entirely aware. But that being said, I just wanted to make the point that I like Fran Lebowitz, therefore I'm also a bitter girl. You know, I don't know, like it can be that way, or but I think it's nice to have that balance within you to kind of make sense of the positivity you harbor and the love you harbor for humanity. Oh, and also another thing I've learned recently is that like coming up as this will be another next video, so I hope I remember it, but growing up as an only child prevents you from like so many perspectives, and you feel so isolated in the experience of life, and you feel like you're almost too individualistic. Nobody's going to get you, and you're a little off and weird and stuff. And the more I'm, you know, venturing into, I guess, building real connections, and I guess understanding people empirically, I've also come to understand that a lot of my idiosyncrasies are not much different than other people. You know, I'm not this like enigma. So that's kind of cool to realize. But anyway, yeah, I'm in the process of kind of coming out of my hermit shell and getting to know people really and maintaining that friendship. Because oftentimes I'm very specific about the friends that I keep in my life because really it's two factors. One, it's do our values align? And two, does our sense of humor align? And I feel like my sense of humor is a little particular. So if I feel like I connect, then it's like, oh, we're gonna be locked in for life, and I will stay in touch with you for life. But I've tried to kind of break that barrier and come out of my comfort zone to experience new experiences or something like that. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Really without any point, without anything to promulgate. Maybe the idea that sure, individuality is profited off of, and I wish I could say it as good as my friend says it, because he's a poet, and you know, it was just very eloquent the way he put it. But yeah, I think individuality is profited off of, and it's just a constituent of consumerism, and you kind of put in your head you are one way, you're going to be one way. But no, we as people are comprised of not just so many characteristics, but opposing characteristics, you know? And I guess we form an identity based on the general consensus of people's reactions, ideas of you, you know, which is true. Like there is a certain maintenance of who you are, you know. And people recognize me more so than being bitter for being goofy, for being kind or smiley, you know? So, and like, as well as other characteristics about myself. But, you know, I just think it's kind of nice to, I guess, maybe amplify or bring light to the volume of who we are, and, you know, that we're not two-dimensional and we're not one way, and we have the right to explore different parts of ourselves and understand why they are the way they are. For instance, you know, like maybe my general bitterness or my anger, or it's not so much, it's this existential despair or whatever, you know, I do find it very cathartic at times, you know, because some of these thoughts that I have are kind of shaped as rebuttals to whatever I'm observing. I think that's good. I think when I notice my thinking pattern, I'm pleased with it, you know, because I think it's good to question and challenge, and, you know, think, right? So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with, where it may even derive from. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's really much of a point, but I think it's good to just get it out there, and like I said, like I think there is also no shame in kind of talking about yourself. I mean, and really this might help whoever is watching, in the sense that, if you feel isolated as a person because you think you're enigmatic in some sense, or you have idiosyncrasies that are so far off that you think no one will understand you. Well, I hope, that this, whatever I am sharing, or how I'm sharing myself through this channel, will make you feel less alone, that's how I feel about movies. But I guess that phrase itself kind of, I guess my snapsies fired, it was in relation to how I feel about movies, and movies make you feel less alone. So I hope that this channel does as well. And really, like, that's what's most important, because I don't think I'm really in this credible position to be, like I said, giving out, philosophies of life or how you should live. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but I think it's great to just be here and be true to myself and see if it sticks with somebody. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I am so hungry and I'm so hot. I mean, honestly, like, before coming on camera, I was like sweltering and not in the mood. I just cleaned my closet and my room and whatever, and I'm gross and blah. But I wanted to come on here and do all this and kind of make the point that, like, yo, I'm not always whatever, goofy and whatnot. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, rest of your week, and I will see you later. Bye.